The 4,000-year-old mystery hidden inside Easter eggs. When we hold a colorful Easter egg in our hands, we rarely think about the incredible historical journey that this symbol has undergone over the millennia. Behind the sweet chocolate shell lies a mystery dating back more than 4,000 years, connecting lost civilizations, sacred rituals, and the eternal human search for the meaning of life and renewal. The history of Easter eggs did not begin in Christian times, nor even with Jesus Christ. It has deep roots that extend to the golden sands of ancient Mesopotamia, the majestic temples of pharaonic Egypt, and the civilizations that flourished when humanity was still in its infancy in the art of recording its own history. Origins, lost in the mists of time. To truly understand the mystery hidden in Easter eggs, we need to travel back in time to approximately 2000 BC, when the first organized civilizations began to flourish in what we now know as the Middle East. Archaeological records indicate that the earliest civilizations in the Mesopotamia region, ancient Egypt, and some African peoples regarded the egg as an important symbol of fertility and rebirth. Imagine for a moment the vast plains between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the cradle of human civilization, there where writing, the first laws, and the first organized systems of government were born. Ancient peoples regarded the egg with a reverence that may seem strange to us today. For them, this seemingly simple object held the greatest of all mysteries, the secret of life itself. The egg represented something much deeper than food or a decorative object. It was a universal symbol that transcended cultures, languages, and geographical boundaries. The egg is also a symbol of this time of year, as it represents the beginning of life. Ancient peoples had a custom of offering eggs to friends as a way of wishing them a happy life. The awakening of spring and forgotten rituals. In ancient civilizations, eggs were intrinsically linked to natural cycles and the rebirth of the earth after winter. For ancient civilizations, eggs were a symbol of strength, vitality, and fertility. Giving eggs as gifts to friends was like wishing them good fortune and bountiful harvests to come. The ancient Egyptians, masters of art and symbolism, developed elaborate rituals around eggs. Not only did they decorate them with vibrant colors and intricate patterns, but they also buried them with their dead, believing that these symbols of life would help them on their journey to the afterlife. Egyptians and many other ancient peoples decorated eggs to celebrate spring. In Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilizations such as the Sumerian, Babylonian, and Assyrian, the egg took on even more complex meanings. It was associated not only with seasonal rebirth, but also with myths about the creation of the world. Many ancient cultures had myths about cosmic eggs from which the entire universe was born. Ostrich eggs and eggs from other animals were decorated and offered to welcome spring. Imagine the scene: entire families gathering to carefully decorate ostrich eggs, some the size of small melons, with natural dyes extracted from plants and minerals. These eggs became precious gifts, exchanged between friends and family as symbols of good luck and prosperity. The goddess Ostara and Germanic mysteries. As civilizations spread across Europe, the symbolism of the egg found new meaning in the pagan rituals of the Germanic and Celtic peoples. The central figure in these rituals was Ostara, also known as Eostri, the goddess of dawn and spring. She is also credited with eggs and rabbits, great symbols of Easter, but for the people who worshipped Ostara, they meant fertility and hope in the life that would come with spring. For this reason, they exchanged decorated eggs, and also hid some to find them later. The rituals dedicated to Ostara were vibrant celebrations that marked the spring equinox. Entire families participated in decorating eggs with mystical symbols. spirals representing the eternal cycle of life, flowers symbolizing the rebirth of nature, and animals such as hares and rabbits, known for their prolificacy. The custom of hiding decorated eggs had a profound meaning. It represented the spiritual quest for renewal and the discovery of life's hidden treasures. Children and adults alike participated in this symbolic search, looking not only for physical eggs, but also for the spiritual renewal that spring brought. Christian transformation, absorption, and adaptation. When Christianity began to spread throughout the Roman Empire and beyond, early Christian leaders faced a dilemma. Pagan traditions were deeply rooted in popular culture. Rather than simply banning them, the Church opted for a more subtle strategy, to absorb and transform these symbols, giving them new Christian meaning. The first Christian eggs appeared in ancient times, when believers in Mesopotamia began painting eggs red to represent the blood of Christ. This symbolic transformation was brilliant in its simplicity. The egg, which already represented rebirth and new life in pagan traditions, became the perfect symbol for the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Christianity absorbed and adapted the tradition, but not in a superficial way. Christian theologians developed a rich symbolism around the egg. Just as a chick breaks the shell to be born into a new life, Jesus broke the chains of death to rise again. The eggshell represented the tomb and its contents, eternal life. During the Middle Ages, this symbolism became even more elaborate. Eggs were blessed by priests and distributed to the faithful as a reminder of the resurrection. Monasteries developed sophisticated decoration techniques, creating true works of art on eggshells. The birth of the chocolate egg, a French Revolution. The history of the Easter egg as we know it today took a dramatic turn in 17th century France. According to the Historical Encyclopedia, the first record of chocolate eggs dates back to the court of Louis XIV in France from 1643 to 1715. The first chocolate eggs appeared in the 18th century when French confectioners decided to empty eggs and fill them with chocolate. This innovation represented a revolution in the ancient tradition. For the first time in history, the ancestral symbol of life and renewal also became a sensory experience of pleasure and sweetness. French confectioners, known for their skill and creativity, developed increasingly sophisticated techniques. They began by making small holes in natural eggs, removing the contents and filling the shell with liquid chocolate. When the chocolate cooled and solidified, the shell was carefully removed, revealing the first chocolate egg in history. This innovation quickly spread throughout European courts. Kings and nobles competed to have the most elaborate and decorated chocolate eggs. Skilled artisans developed increasingly intricate molds, creating eggs that were true edible sculptures. Deep symbolism. What eggs really represent. To understand the 4,000-year-old mystery hidden in Easter eggs, we need to go beyond the sweet and colorful surface. The egg is fundamentally an archetypal symbol that speaks directly to the collective unconscious of humanity. In psychological terms, the egg represents unrealized potential, the infinite possibility contained in a finite form. Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist, often referred to symbols such as the egg when discussing the process of individuation, the journey of discovery and realization of the true self. Because the egg symbolizes life, people cooked and decorated it to be given as a gift at the transition from winter to spring. This seasonal transition represents, on a deeper level, the transitions we all face in our lives. Moments of apparent death or dormancy, followed by periods of renewal and growth. For Jewish peoples, the symbolism of the egg took on even more complex dimensions. For Jews, in addition to this symbolism, the egg also carries the symbol of resistance. During centuries of persecution and exile, the egg became a reminder of the Jewish people's capacity for survival and renewal. The journey through world cultures. The mystery of the egg has transcended geographical and cultural boundaries in fascinating ways. Each civilization that has adopted this symbol has interpreted it through its own cultural lens, creating a rich mosaic of meanings and traditions. Some historians assume that the tradition originated among the Persians, while others attribute its origin to the Chinese. This uncertainty about its exact origins only adds to the mystery. It's possible that the symbolism of the egg emerged independently in multiple cultures, suggesting that it represents something fundamental to the human experience. In ancient China, red eggs were given as gifts to celebrate births, especially the birth of sons. The color red symbolized luck and happiness, while the egg represented the continuity of the family line. This tradition, which continues today, shows how the basic symbolism of the egg, life, renewal, continuity, has adapted to different cultural contexts. In Ukraine, one of the world's most elaborate egg decorating traditions developed. A pisanka is a Ukrainian Easter egg, decorated with traditional folk designs using a wax-resist method, batik. Each pattern and each color had specific meaning. Creating a pisanka was an act of meditation and prayer, connecting the artist with ancestral traditions. The egg as a universal metaphor. As we explore the mystery of Easter eggs more deeply, we begin to realize that we are dealing with something much deeper than a simple religious or cultural tradition. The egg functions as a universal metaphor for concepts that are fundamental to the human experience. The shape of the egg, with its smooth, unbroken surface, represents wholeness and perfection. It has no visible beginning or end, symbolizing eternity and the infinite cycles of nature. At the same time, its fragility reminds us of the delicacy of life and the importance of protecting and nurturing what is precious. Inside the egg, invisible to the naked eye, lies the full potential for new life. This hidden aspect of the egg is perhaps the most mysterious of all. It represents everything that has not yet manifested itself in our lives. Our unfulfilled dreams, our untapped potential, our future possibilities. When we crack an egg to eat, or when a chick breaks through the shell to be born, we witness one of the most fundamental mysteries of existence, the transformation of potential into reality. This moment of rupture is simultaneously an act of destruction and creation. The shell must be broken so that new life can emerge. Regional traditions and their hidden stories. Each region of the world has developed its own variations on the Easter egg tradition, each carrying unique elements of the ancient mystery. In Greece, for example, eggs are dyed deep red and used in traditional games where two people tap their eggs against each other. The one whose egg does not break will have good luck for the year. In Poland, the tradition of pisanki, decorated eggs, dates back to pre-Christian times. Women gathered to decorate eggs using techniques passed down from mother to daughter through generations. Each family has its own secret patterns, guarded like ancestral treasures. This custom originates from a local legend, which said that during Easter, the activity of witches and wizards increased greatly. In Sweden, children dress up as little witches during Easter, a tradition that blends ancient pagan elements with more recent Christian customs. These regional traditions are not mere folkloric curiosities. They are threads in the great tapestry of human history, connecting us to our ancestors and preserving aspects of the original mystery that could be lost in modern globalization. The science behind the symbolism. Interestingly, modern science has validated many of the intuitive insights our ancestors had about eggs. From a biological standpoint, the egg is truly one of nature's most extraordinary phenomena. It contains all the nutrients and genetic instructions necessary to create a new complex life form from relatively simple components. The process by which an embryo develops inside an egg is one of the wonders of biology. Starting as a single fertilized cell, the embryo undergoes a series of complex transformations, differentiating into all the organs and systems necessary for independent life. This process, known as embryogenesis, is governed by an intricate set of chemical and genetic signals that we do not yet fully understand. This biological reality adds an extra layer of meaning to the ancestral symbolism of the egg. Our ancestors may not have understood the scientific details, but they intuitively grasped something profound about the nature of the egg as a vessel and incubator of life. The psychology of chocolate and sweetness. The evolution of Easter eggs to include chocolate introduced a whole new psychological dimension to the ancient symbol. Chocolate, derived from cocoa beans, has its own history rich in symbolism and cultural significance. For Mesoamerican peoples, such as the Maya and Aztecs, cocoa was considered a gift from the gods. It was used in religious ceremonies and as currency. The word chocolate derives from the Nahuatl xocolotl, meaning bitter water, a reference to the ceremonial drink made from cocoa. When chocolate was combined with the ancient symbol of the egg, a powerful synthesis was created. The nutritious and pleasurable aspect of chocolate perfectly complements the spiritual and renewing symbolism of the egg. Together, they satisfy both the body and the soul. The sweetness of chocolate also has deep psychological significance. From birth, we associate sweet flavors with care, nourishment, and love. Breast milk is naturally sweet, and this early experience creates lasting associations between sweetness and emotional security. The mystery in the modern age. Today, in the 21st century, the 4,000-year-old mystery hidden in Easter eggs remains as relevant as ever. In a world increasingly dominated by technology and the speed of modern life, ancient symbols offer a connection to something deeper and more enduring. When we buy Easter eggs for our children or loved ones, we participate in a ritual that connects our generation with countless generations that preceded us. We are transmitting, perhaps without realizing it, messages about renewal, hope, and the potential for new life that have echoed throughout human history. The enduring popularity of Easter eggs, even in increasingly secular societies, suggests that they satisfy a fundamental human need that transcends specific religious beliefs. They remind us of our connection to natural cycles, to the mystery of life, and to the eternal hope of renewal and rebirth. Philosophical implications of egg symbolism. The egg as a symbol invites us to contemplate some of the deepest questions of human existence. What does it truly mean to be born again? How can we break through the shells that limit us and emerge as renewed versions of ourselves? Philosophers throughout the centuries have used the metaphor of the egg to explore concepts of potential and actualization. Aristotle spoke about the difference between potency and act. The egg represents pure potency, while the living being that emerges from it represents the actualization of that potency. This philosophical perspective adds depth to our understanding of Easter eggs. They are not only symbols of religious resurrection or seasonal renewal, but also represent the infinite potential that exists within each of us. Every Easter egg we give or receive is symbolically a reminder of our own unrealized possibilities. The continuity of tradition. One of the most remarkable aspects of the mystery of Easter eggs is their ability to adapt and persist through dramatic cultural changes. It has survived the fall of empires, the rise and fall of religions, scientific revolutions, and social transformations. This persistence suggests that the symbolism of the egg touches on something fundamental in the human psyche. It is not just an arbitrary cultural tradition, but a response to deep psychological and spiritual needs that seem to be universal in human experience. Today's children, biting into their chocolate eggs, participate in the same symbolic ritual as children in ancient Mesopotamia, even though they are separated by thousands of years and enormous cultural differences. This continuity is in itself a kind of mystery. How can a symbol maintain its relevance through such dramatic changes in the human condition? Conclusion: unraveling the eternal mystery. At the end of this journey through the 4,000-year-old mystery hidden inside Easter eggs, we arrive at a richer understanding of this seemingly simple symbol. What began as a natural object revered by ancient civilizations has evolved to become one of humanity's most enduring and universal symbols. The Easter egg carries within it layers of meaning that have accumulated like geological sediments over the millennia. Each civilization has added its own interpretation, its own understanding, its own rituals and traditions, creating a symbol that is simultaneously ancient and modern, sacred and secular, simple and deeply complex. The mystery lies not only in the historical origins of Easter eggs, but in their enduring ability to speak to us on deep levels of our consciousness. They connect us to our ancestors, to the cycles of nature, to the hope of renewal, and to the eternal mystery of life itself. When we hold an Easter egg, we are not just holding molded chocolate or a decorative object. We are holding a piece of human history, a symbol that carries echoes of ancient prayers, forgotten rituals, and the eternal hope that no matter how difficult times may be, renewal and rebirth are always possible. This is the true mystery hidden within Easter eggs. Not just their fascinating history, but their ongoing ability to inspire, comfort, and connect us to something greater than ourselves. In a world that often feels fragmented and disconnected, Easter eggs remind us that we are part of a much larger and older story, a story of hope, renewal, and the eternal potential for new life. The mystery continues, passed down from generation to generation, hidden in plain sight within the sweet simplicity of an Easter egg. And perhaps that is exactly how it should be. Some mysteries are more powerful when they remain mysteries, when they continue to surprise and inspire us, generation after generation, century after century, millennium after millennium.